What's that picture?
Walk-ins welcome.
It's like some sort of doctor's office.
Hello?
Hey!
Hey.
There's a guy.
What's up, bud?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
How are you?
Good.
I'm good. You know what that picture was? It's Better Call Saul. It's his. I think it's his office. I did it. Yeah, I forget why. I don't know why.
You a big fan of all that shit, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and whatnot?
I am, but there was doing it for a reason because your face was on something. Like I do that for Venmo. I don't use my real name anymore because people would ask me for money.
How annoying is that? Yeah, all the time. The requests, it's like it's supposed to be funny, but it's not. I'm like, I don't fucking care about that.
Yeah, it just happens all, and you're like, all right. Yeah. Yes, it is like I just changed the name.
What's the weirdest reason you've ever had for money?
Request.
I don't know if I've had any. It's just usually just straight up just asking. I don't think I've had any. I don't know if I've had any crazy. I think you guys would get it worse than me.
Yeah, we get some. I can't think of any specific, but I remember my blood boiling for some of them.
I get ones like your mom didn't say hi to me.
Yeah,
that's obviously a very specific one that actually happened. But it's like I was like, how do you even know what my mom looks like, bro?
People are the worst, huh?
I know Shay gets them, and Shay, because we were talking about it, and Shay from Dan and Shay, but Shay got like 50 grand. Someone was asking for like 50 grand.
Oh,
you know what?
They asked for $5 because my mom did.
That's what I would get, $5.
The thing is, like one day, or maybe it's already happened. Like one day, some celebrity will use it for PR and just like do it, and maybe it'll be you that day. Who knows?
Yeah.
If you do that, if Shay dropped 50 grand right now, it's he's so generous and headlines and all that kind of crap.
It would be everywhere. It would just make a nightmare for everybody else, though.
Yeah, that is. You get the PR, and all of your peers absolutely loathe you for doing that.
Yeah, just being like, you're the worst, dude. Yeah, it hurt Vimeo. Is it Venmo?
Venmo, yeah.
Vimeo. All right, Grandpa Nate. Jesus.
Are you typing?
What about saying Vimeo? Yeah, with Vimeo. I'm like, y'all get money requests through Vimeo? It's just.
So wait, are you tight with Dan and Shay?
Shay, I haven't met Dan yet.
Oh, really?
Who knows if there's even is a Dan? But Shay, I am. Yeah, we golf a lot, and he lives here, and so
I think that was your connection to Foreplay, right? Didn't you and Dan and Shay and Foreplay do something together?
Yeah, we all talked, and because Shay says he's a good golfer, and he's not. He's gotten a lot better. He has gotten a lot better. I will say that.
What do you shoot?
I'm a 3.7.
Oh, that's pretty good. Shit.
Wait, that's fucking good as hell.
Yeah.
Well,
so what is it? That means you're like almost 4 strokes off of being par?
Yeah.
How that works?
I mean, yeah. But I shoot I'll shoot 70s. I'm stuck at like 81 will be my bad round. So.
Dude, that's
is that
way better than I thought you were.
Have you been like golfing your whole life, or is this like a new development since you got rich?
It's since I got rich. It's
you were about to answer. You were about to just let it answer.
I know. Yeah. I go, well, I come from money, so I've actually lost money since my success in comedy. I played when I was a kid, and when I joined the country club, at first I joined Old Hickory Country Club, which is where I got married, and that's a very blue collar. Because country clubs have this stigma on them that they think it's like all this stuffy kind of place, and you can go to some, you're like, dude, it's not that much money, and it's there's you could be like, it's a couple $100, and you're like, the course feels like that, and you would be like, I'd rather just go play a public course.
Dude, when I was younger, we used to sneak onto a course. It was $12 to play, probably 9, I'd guess. And we would sneak. We were still trying to save the $12. We would sneak on at like 6 p.m. Yeah. We'd go like enough to get like enough sunlight to finish 9, but we were still like we were teeing off rocks. It was a terrible course.
Yeah, those bad courses. Those were the fights happen. My brother goes and plays at a course here, and it's Riverside. It's a small course that we used to grow up playing. I actually like the course. I like, it just means it's a course you grew up playing. Mm-hmm. And, but that's a course where all the tee boxes are next to the greens. And I mean, people are getting hit. Just like, if you barely miss the green, you just land. And when bad golfers play, they're not like rational.
No.
You know, like they don't go like, oh, that happens. They think you did it on purpose. You were aiming for me. And then they're like, and here we come. And then they're going to just come after you. I played this was at my course, but we were playing and a guy I was playing with, he hits into another tee box. And I see the guy's hands go. This guy looks just like Steve Kerr, the guy that he hit. I mean, I think it's his brother, and I would ask him if we have bad blood now. So I go over and I can tell like I got to go over there because this dude's gonna be upset. And so then the guy is kind of like, guys, you got to watch out. And we yelled 4. He just couldn't hear us. It's a bad shot. No one wants to hit somebody.
No, yeah. We're trying to get it in the hole, bro. We're not trying to hit it into other people's tee boxes.
So I get over there. I'm talking to his wife's there. He's
jeez.
And I'm like, look, I'm like, dude, we yelled 4. Obviously, we're not trying to hit you. Like, no one wants to be in this situation. You think this is horrible. And he's like, oh, well, just, kind of wouldn't let go. His team, by the way, he's teeing off. They're hitting in the other fairways. And then my friend, that's the worst golfer, his name's Felix. He goes and he's aiming this way. He hits it sideways and hits the woman's cart. I mean, I just got everything calmed down. I get it. And then, I mean, I'm like, all right, we're good. They're like, we're good. And it's like, boom. And he just hits it. And the lady goes, come on, guys. Like, the timing was beautiful. Like, I was like, all right, he might have done that one on purpose. I don't know what to tell you about that. So
that one you got to beef. That one I understand. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Have you ever had any golf rage moments? Have you ever been on the other side of it? Or at yourself, maybe? Maybe not other people?
I've been hit on a range.
On a range?
On a range where I've been, when did I get...
Were you driving the car?
Got sideways. No. Driving on the range. I've had a ball go off sideways, and it hit. And then there's another range that's near a hole, and so then a ball hit over there. I've been hit a few times. Like your cart gets hit. No, I'm trying to think. No, like fights or anything. I mean, that's all public golf.
You had the guy who called you his wife's name, obviously.
Olivia.
I couldn't remember the name. Yeah.
Olivia was exactly the true. Did I ever tell? It's exactly the story that happened. The old man comes over and goes, Olivia, and I was standing there. And then I asked a kid at the valet, because I was just playing in Florida. And I said, hey, did that guy call me Olivia? And the kid was embarrassed. I mean, he was like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. He did though. And I told the kid, I go, it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. And he doesn't know I'm a comedian that's like,
right.
Dude,
I'm going to have that in my back pocket literally for the rest of my life. Son, you don't realize that's the best thing ever.
That guy called me Olivia.
When was the last time, or if ever, that you were in a fight? Not even golf related, just like, fist, like a bar fight, fist fight, anything like that? I just can't imagine.
I had a brief in college. My brief stint in college where I got no credits.
How many attempts? Like how long were you there?
I was there a year and a half.
18 months. You got no credits,
dude. I was there for 3.5 years. I have like 30 credits. So I think on pace you're better than me.
That's like what 2-3 semesters worth of classes. Like were you taking full like amounts, like 4 or 5 classes at a time?
No, okay. Dude, I know. I took my ACT and stuff. I had like ACT. I was like real bad. I think I got a 17 or something. I've never told anybody because I think it's embarrassing. It's low where people are like, they would be like, "Are you okay?" Like something. like the teachers would talk to the parents after, like to be like, "Hey, can we all just hang back?" I don't know if you should be in this school.
Or like that's like no, something must have been wrong with like the Scantron. That can't be. Something went wrong with the test.
I don't think I ever taken an ACT.
Yeah, well, I'm actually looking right now. I don't even know. I think the ACTs are not really an East Coast thing, or they weren't because I don't.
They're Southern.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
What's the score out of 17 out of
36?
Oh, that's not good. That's not
Come
good.
on now. That's not. We weren't even. Yeah. I mean, I think it's 36.
Yeah. If I got a 17, do you think I know?
Yeah. I think 18 is like. 18's like you're getting through. You made. You're nothing to brag home about, but you're not. 17's like the first. It's like 17. I took remedial classes as well. So I went to community college and took, I took speech, a class called speech. and I talked about the Vandy '96 football season. I showed a highlight reel from it. That's a highlight reel where we went 5-6, and that was our high. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like all fired up about Vanderbilt. And we,
I took my senior year of high school. I took pre-calculus.
Oh, gosh.
Which is...
You got no shot. This kid, I mean, the other day, Nate, we did a challenge here. It was how many multiple choice questions how many multiplication questions can you get right in like 1 minute? And it was like 6 times 2, 3 times 9, like just like simple shit like that. I mean, I
got 21.
He didn't, like everyone else, a lot of people like finished. It was how fast can you finish all of them? You got like 15 out of 30.
I got 1/3 of them.
It was really, and he's sitting there counting on his fingers. It was real bad. So him doing pre-calculus is like, forget about it.
But pre-calc, so my senior year was pre-calc. That was the last math class I ever took. And we had this major project that you had to do. Like it was told to us on day 1 of classes. And then on the last day of classes, you had to choose your project and then explain it. And mine was explaining how sailboats work.
Yeah.
And she was just like, that doesn't involve any math. like I took the whole year, and she said it in front of the whole class. She was just like, that you explained no math.
That's like
there.
a science question. Yeah, like great job for the wrong class.
That's physics. I had no math in my and that was like what my entire grade was based on. I failed the class.
Clearly. Oh, so wait,
you're an unbelievable sailboat rider. Like you're like, but I know how a sailboat works. Like that, you have some weird. If you could ever see that teacher on a sailboat broke down, and you roll up and go, "Oh, look how the tide has turned, my friend," and then you just don't help her, and then you go.
I bet you wish you weren't a pre-calc teacher now.
That in 06, don't you? You remember that?
Yeah.
And also like I didn't describe it well. It was like how someone explains how a plane flies, where like it's about lift, and I was just like, it's about like push. And she's like,
man.
This doesn't have any math in it.
It's just going. You got to get going and going. The wind tells you where you're going. She's like, what? And you're like, I mean, it's true. Is it not true?
Spot the lie. Spot
the
lie. So you do 3 semesters, a couple classes, whatever, no credits, and then
failed bowling. I failed a bowling class because I didn't go to it. They wanted because you have to keep score. By a pencil, which is insane. Nobody on earth, no bowling alley on earth is.
Yeah, they didn't have the the fucking the TV screen up there. You put it in the special keyboard.
This guy, he did not. I was a good bowler.
Are you? Yeah, you a good bowler. You know my favorite story.
I failed ultimate frisbee, by the way. I laughed at you, but I failed ultimate frisbee. I failed ultimate frisbee, and I failed stretching and relaxation.
Well, that I can understand. This guy, he can't touch your fucking knee.
I thought it was going to be yoga. It wasn't. Like, they taught you how to stretch. And I was like, this is stupid. I'm not coming back here ever again.
What's your high score in bowling?
266.
Wow, that is
wow.
Good. My all-time favorite story ever is the guy who bowled a 300 on 9/11. It's the best. He has a plaque up. It says 9/11/2001, and he bowled it in the morning, like before everything went down. So that one guy is walking around being like, well, like the greatest day of my life is 9/11/2001.
Yeah. 2001.
What are the chances, man?
He goes, what time? You're like, about an hour before.
Yeah.
It's like everything was going. That's unbelievable. I mean, who bowls that early?
That's what I always thought too.
Right, it was very early.
To be honest, that's where I think maybe it's a lie. Maybe he's bowling like maybe he didn't give a shit. It was just bowling in the middle.
Maybe
of the
he bowled the night before and they don't put it up until the next day.
Could be. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's hope. But
I like to think that he was just like, no news. Like, no one come bother me.
Yeah.
I'm bowling a heck of a
locked
round.
himself in.
Don't tell me anything that's happening.
Yeah.
And they're like, some pretty big news is happening. And he's like, I don't care.
Not yet.
I don't want to hear it right now.
They go, but we got to interrupt you. He goes, it doesn't. Is it here? Is the bowling alley on fire? He goes, then I don't want to. Then it doesn't matter.
How's the podcast business treating you, man?
It's good, man. It's fun. We started doing it, with this COVID stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just started doing our podcast with a couple local comics, Nashville comics. And it's been good. I mean, we got people have been listening, and we're not doing anything. We're not knocking doors down in this there's nothing crazy, but we're trying to make it fits along kind of with my comedy and the fact that it's nothing's heavy, nothing's topical. We're just trying to be funny and like try to be just that kind of space where people need a break, they can come listen.
Did you start it like strictly because of COVID, or were you planning on doing it anyway and that was the last straw? Because I feel like a lot of people started a lot of projects in quarantine and then they're like, oh shit, I gotta keep doing this. This is another thing I gotta keep up with.
A lot of babies.
Yeah,
a lot of babies born like that.
Right.
Like, oh God, this kid's not gonna leave. Once the mask comes off, it's like he's still here. I took my mask off and he was still there. We started it. I've always kind of debated it, and I do like the idea of like being able to be funny during the week. When you start comedy, and when we were in New York starting, we're around each other all day, every day, all comics, where you're being funny a lot.
Right.
And so the older you get and the more you start touring kind of by yourself, you're not around that. So I think with comedy, with a podcast, it's good to go be funny on it. And so I've always debated kind of doing one. And then this was something that happened that you're like, all right, man, well, because it's like your main source of income is just gone.
Do you miss that what you just described there, like being in New York City around the guys in the clubs, or are you like happy to be doing, be done with that?
Yeah, no. I mean, I definitely miss it. I mean, as you get older, you're like, yeah, I am glad to be done with it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to go start over, but I mean, I miss it. I mean, it was my college. I didn't really go. So
right.
That was kind of my college, was to go through there. And I mean, and just all the stuff I got to see and be around, you see Chappelle coming into all these clubs and Patrice, and I watched Bill Burr kind of go from, like not an open mic, but he was like a headliner just at clubs. I mean, I saw him at Caroline's where like 40 people were in there.
Jeez.
Really?
And then, yeah. I mean, I remember Bert's first late night set when I was barking at the Boston Comedy Club in the Village, and I almost handed him a flyer. Like, we'd bark and say, "Hey, welcome, we got a great comedy show." And then I almost gave it to him, and he was going to do Letterman, and he was trying to run his set. And then I told him, so I mean, I saw him and Patrice O'Neill.
Yeah.
Him and they taped their HBO one night stand, which was a huge thing that kind of set Burr. That really started it up for Burr. So it was the O&A Philly thing where the Philly rant.
Yep.
I remember talking to him a couple days after that, like him just telling us about it.
That's awesome.
And then that, so it was like you saw that kind of stuff, and then you go to Caroline's, where Caroline's, the managers are like, y'all can't come in. Like, to go from, we can go sit in 50 different seats and watch him, so then they're like, don't even come down and try to get in. It's that crowded.
Right.
So it's like, see all that kind of stuff, and that rise is, that stuff is the greatest stuff.
I would have to imagine, in the history of comedy, you've got to be the worst barker of all time.
Oh, dude, I am.
Hey,
brutal.
You want to come to a show? No, if not, don't worry. Whatever, man. It's fine.
I was terrible. I mean, the whole time you're out there, you just want. I mean, I remember I was like, how do I get off of this corner?
Yeah.
It was so cold. Hey, we got a great comedy show. I mean, there's no sell. I'm not selling anything. If you any hesitation, you trust me, you're gone. I'm not following you. I'm just like, I remember.
That's so demeaning.
It's one time we had, because, it's funny, there's some comics that are great at it. And that was one of those things you're like, I don't know if you want to be great at this.
Right, exactly.
You don't want to just be where you're like, dude, I am awesome at getting people in the door. But I remember one time Chappelle was on stage, and I was telling people, I was like, Dave Chappelle's on stage. They could go for free. Because it's like the show at Boston Comedy Club, run by my buddy Dustin Chafe, the New York comic. And he'd run it from like 8 a.m. to basically 2 a.m. And it's just, during the week, it was just, guys would stop in and kind of, and the crowd would come in and out.
Right.
So Chappelle's on stage. I'm like, hey, Chappelle's on stage. I'm telling these people, and they're like, I don't believe you. And I remember I was like, why would I make this up? We're at a comedy club. I go, why? I was like, just go look. If he's not there, then don't go in. And they wouldn't go look. And it could be my barking skills were so bad that they're like, I don't believe something else is up.
It's a trap. It's a trap. We're going to walk in there. We're going to lock the door behind me.
Something. And there's no Chappelle. I've seen this before.
That feels like that whole life feels like something that's probably awesome when you have to do it. Like if you have to bark and you're grinding for your money, it stinks. Now it's like if you could have a night back in that same vibe, it would be awesome. But when you
you guys know in that same you guys know it's in the same thing when you're all coming up and we're all doing something that's not the average job.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming up when you're coming up and you're grinding and you're just around all these guys, you're hearing all the crazy stories and you're just trying to get in whatever you get in. And then you finally can get up to where you're like, all right, now you're touring. That's what's so scary about COVID, just being all that work. And then you're like, and then it could just be a wrap. And you're like, all right, we had a fun run, you know, and you see what happens.
I feel like the people who are, right on the verge, maybe, it's like if you didn't have much to lose, okay, if you're set, it's a setback, but whatever. But those people right in the middle who are like, this is about to be my big tour, or about to be my special.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what do you fucking do now? It's crazy.
I mean, those people. I feel bad for the comics. It's gonna be hard too. Is when the stuff does open back up, is all the headliner guys, they got to go back out. I mean, we're like, say Texas. I was talking to someone today, a musician. I mean, if Texas and Florida say they're wide open first. Florida might be open, but if they're open, I mean, the entertainment they're gonna have, everybody on earth is coming.
Right.
I mean, if you're in Florida, you're going to be like, who do you want to see? Elton John, a magician, juggler? Like, I mean, the circus? The whole world is going to be just, you're going to have too many options.
And so you're getting out there doing like one of the drive-in tours?
Yeah. So we just did a bunch of them.
You were in Massachusetts recently, right?
I was in Cape Cod. Yeah, awesome. That one was awesome.
I had a few friends on Instagram. I was like, I didn't even know Nate was up there. Like they were at the show and they were kind of posting it, and I was like, fuck,
went to the Pirate Museum.
The Pirate Museum?
Went to the Pirate Museum. The hard thing with buses too, my buddy, I don't know if Justin Smith, very funny comic that was on the road with me, opened for me that trip, and he had to go to the bathroom. So we're on a bus, you can't go to the bathroom on this bus. You can pee, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So if you got to do something else, you got to find. So we go to that Pirate Museum to Justin. It was like broke. And he's like, can I go to the women's? And the woman knew. And she just goes, no. And she's like, you got to go find. She goes, you can go to that restaurant if they're crazy enough to let you in there. You can go in there. She made him go to another restaurant.
Wow.
The greatest thing. Like a true pirate. I mean, we're in a pirate museum. And she's like, no. Go over there.
That is like, I mean, a person in that situation, they are in need. They are at their most vulnerable. And that is literally kicking a man while he is down.
I mean,
come on,
wonderful.
lady.
Yeah, that was brutal for her. Yeah, go visit that pirate museum. Don't go to the bathroom, but go into the museum.
Did you go into the pirate museum yourself?
Oh, we went and did the whole thing. Pretty wild.
How was it?
They're doing quite good. Pirates not. They said one fact that I saw in it was that because it seems crazy. Their heyday of pirates was like 1700s.
Yeah,
and you're thinking like, how could they just be taking over these places? But there was roughly like 2,000 pirates. But in the 1700s, there was only 18,000 people in Manhattan, and only 5,000 in like South Carolina. So if these pirates are like nut jobs, they do not care about anything. They would get a lot of them got killed because they would attack the wrong ships because they would be drunk. And so they're just like drunk and they're like, let's go get that ship right there. And it's like a Navy ship that just murders all of them. And it all just started. Just some guy can barely see. He's like, I'll go. And they just try to fight everybody.
Dude, I'm still scared to eat in the dark or even poor lighting because I learned when I was probably in middle school, maybe early high school, that pirates used to blow the candles out below deck when they ate, so they couldn't see the maggots on their food. And now it's still like something that sticks with me that like I cannot eat in even mediocre lighting. I need to be on a fucking movie set to be able to see like what
I don't even. Yeah, that is funny though. I'm trying to think of like when I would ever be eating where you can't see. You know that restaurant where you do eat in the dark?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So your other senses are heightened and all that shit.
I had a buddy win. He's like, because they had like blind servers, I think. to like, or one restaurant, the servers would be blind because it's like he's like, you're just getting punched in the face the whole time. Is just like, goosh, and you're like, because no one knows what's happening at all.
And I'm sure you pay like a premium for it too, you know?
Oh yeah, you just come out, your hair's all messy. You're like, I don't know what happened.
So, and how is you're down with the drive-in like setup, or is it you're tolerating it, or you actually like it?
I don't want to go just start doing them and be my thing, but like they're awesome, man. And it's funny, Chicago. I just did Chicago, and it was one of the best comedy experiences I've ever had, and the one that I would remember forever. I walk out, there's like 500 cars. You can't even see to the back, and then right when you walk out, I mean, everybody's flashing their lights, honking their horn. It was just a beautiful thing, and they did honking for their laughs. So they would honk instead of, because you can't hear the laughs.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, it wasn't that bad. I actually think I would prefer it because it's at least something. You're at least getting some kind of
feedback.
You gotta like fill it out. You gotta like it was an adjustment to go, all right, you gotta learn to like, people are gonna honk at weird times. You gotta just talk over those honks. But just the fact that there's some energy going on in the show instead of just you talking to nothing. I actually really enjoyed it, and I'll remember it for the rest of my life. That's the whole point, of this, is to still be doing shows, and I'm gonna be taping a special at the end of October. So it's kind of I had to get reps and kind of get going. Mm-hmm. But I also did want to just like, during this time, it's gonna be a time that you're probably never gonna forget. So might as well hit. I want to see it all.
Absolutely,
see all COVID, go experience it all, and see how weird it gets, and
Are you doing a special? Are you doing a drive-in special, or are you doing in a club?
No, I think it'll be outside.
Outside?
Outside, but with chairs, tables. It'll be like as regular as possible, but outside. Like
that's fucking sick.
This is the plan. Yeah, that's the plan for it. And then, so I mean, obviously, we'll see. The Titans were going to play last weekend too, so you never know.
We're gonna play a little answer the internet. If you got a minute, I think you did it.
Yeah.
You filmed one of them before, right? So now we're trying to just roll it into more of a podcast conversation. So
y'all just really gave up on it.
Well, it just what's funny? It just doesn't work remotely. I don't know why. But
we're gonna text you some stuff. Just text it back. I don't even think they care.
Yeah, like whatever, man. All right. Number one, if you could incept one person, like the movie Inception, and plant an idea into their brain, who would the person be, and what idea would you plant in there?
I just watched Inception.
Did you get it? Did you understand it? I feel like that's a big, I don't get it.
I stopped it. Took me 3 days. And I would watch a little bit, and I'd stop it and just kind of wrap my head around what's happening.
That's what happens when you get a 17 on your ACTs. That kind of stuff.
And this is the third time I've watched. So if I could put someone's, I don't know, man. Put an idea in their head.
Would you go with something for work? Would you go with something home? Would you do, incept your wife to think something? Would you something with the Titans?
Yeah, I would do something. You know what? I would incept the idea to Vanderbilt to actually commit to their sports and give the football team everything that they need.
Bro, good luck.
And their basketball team.
Yeah, good luck.
That's why I would do this.
Yeah.
Put this idea in. And then that person gets fired immediately. I'm like, God, I chose the wrong person.
I love that you're such a big Vanderbilt guy. So when I was in college, I dated a girl who went to Vanderbilt. So I used to go a lot. And it's fucking unbelievable place. I never went to a game, but I had a lot of fun at tailgates.
Yeah, it's the best city in the SEC. And
that's actually accurate. I'll give you that. All right, number 2, you've been put in charge of running Heck. It's the afterlife for people not evil enough for hell. What's the first torture you designed?
If the first torture that is running hell. I feel like I like the idea that they could, I like, you know what it'd be? It'd be a roller coaster ride that says heaven, And then it's right when you get to the top, it just goes. It goes right back down.
That's the most evil answer we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
It's a long ride up that goes, you know what, I did it. And then the guy really gets to talk to everybody else. Everybody's going like, we did so good. I want them long enough that they're talking, going like, you know what, we were good. And that's why they're really motivating each other and one guy in the back's like, I don't even know how I made it. Like,
he's like, this makes more sense.
Mad
this makes more sense.
He goes, this makes more sense.
All right. What would your awkward Jeopardy interview story be? They come back from commercial break. They're like, Nate from Nashville, like, tell us your story. And you have one big moment to tell Alex Trebek and the nation. What would your story be? I
got a 17 on my ACT. And I'm just like, I shouldn't be. He's like, this makes so much sense. Like after I get no answers right, I think I would want to come back and I go, hey man, I want to explain myself. I shouldn't be on this show. I don't know how I got here. This is embarrassing. I've been trying to like give you signals during the show to go like,
get me off this. I was supposed to be on Wheel of Fortune. I took a wrong turn. I ended up on Jeopardy,
took a wrong turn, yeah.
All right. If you could be the patron saint of something, what would it be?
Hey, patron saint?
Yeah.
Like, what is the patron saint?
Like Saint Valentine is the patron saint of love.
Yeah, okay.
So Saint Nate would be...
Saint, I'd be the patron saint of... of parking? I don't know.
Are you a good parker?
I'm an unbelievable parallel parker.
Dude, I don't think I've ever had to do like the pull out and you pull back in.
Start over? Yeah.
I've never had to do that. I'm a great
I
parker.
did in New York. I was touching 2 cars once.
Mm-hmm. Really?
That feeling,
both bumpers.
When you get in and you're like, I don't think I can get out. I don't know how I got in, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get out of here. There's no better feeling.
You had a car in New York?
My dad, we got a car that when he was about to get rid of an old car, he just like let me have it up there for probably 4 months, basically until it was fell apart.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of a long car and I was able to get it in. And I remember I was like, I got to get back for these people are going to be furious. If they say, when I moved to Chicago, I moved there first to start comedy. Me and my buddy, we moved. We're both from now Nashville, and so we're both like, oh, we go to this big city, like we ain't seen nothing, and we see someone back into a car and leave, and I mean we're like, this is a hit and run, and I mean we are trying to run down to get the license plate number. I mean just the pure after you live in a city, you're like, dude, we are in psycho. Can you imagine? Going to hey, excuse me, you bumped the rear bumper of that other car, and he's like, "What?" Even that guy would be like, "What?
Who cares, man?"
Yeah. This is what it is. You're like, "I'm sorry."
All right, last one here. Which reality TV show would you be best on?
I'm not. I'm trying to think. Like, I'm not a.
I think you'd be terrible at Survivor.
I'm not a Survivor. I can play some games. I just don't know the games.
What does that mean?
I could play some games at Survivor. I've never really watched Survivor. My wife watches it.
I just feel like, when you're stuck out in the wilderness or whatever, I think you'd be, all right, I lose.
I love the mental games of everything, though. I think I would be good because isn't Survivor really big about making people think one thing? And I think I can talk anybody into anything. And I think so, like, well, as a comedian, I think I could get you to come with me and really trust me. And I mean, my job is to be like, we're all friends.
Yeah.
My job is if we hang out and you leave, I see someone after the show, they leave and they're like, we're going to hang out probably forever.
Yeah.
I can give you that in much intensity and be that involved in your thing. And isn't that what Survivor's about? I mean, the game stuff is I'll be fine in the game.
I've never thought of it that way. You're like
this is kind of disheartening because like I think that when we talk, I'm like, me and Nate would be like,
you're just tricking us.
Well, this is the first time we've met, right?
That's so true, though, man. I remember thinking that when we talked to like Bill and some like the masters of it, we're like, wow, like he was really into that, and you realize it's all material and it's all part of the fucking show. And I was like, oh no.
No, well, you can tell. I'm talking about like when you do like a quick meet and greet. Us,
yeah.
We've been talking to you guys forever, and you guys are kind of with all of us New York comics,
right?
So it's not you. But it's but if you go and do like one-off kind of stuff, or you're doing, it is, you're going in, you're putting on a show or an act.
Right.
You can really do that. And
you should get into politics. About that. People would vote for you, Nate.
Yeah. I'll run on just everything. I run on Hollywood's a nightmare.
run on David Price is good.
Yeah, I'll run on that. I'll run on telling people not vote or don't vote. Do whatever you want.
It would work.
Who cares? Yeah.
All right. So the drive-in show. What do we got? We got dates coming up, or
coming up, going through October, all of October.
All right. So the one night only drive-in tour. You can catch Nate all across the country. The podcast is out now, and of course, Tennessee Kid is still out there, and it's just one of the best specials ever. So,
did you know that when you recorded that, were you like, I fucking smashed this?
I thought the stand-ups was going to be, the half hour was going to be real bad.
Really?
Like, actually, wow, I thought it was going to be.
Dude,
you're an idiot.
When I try and like introduce you to people, even though like
you're stupid,
you're dumb. If you thought that was bad, you're not good at this job.
Like there are very few people I have to introduce you to anymore.
Yeah.
But like when I'm like, you got to see this special, I always show stand-ups first. Because it's it's only a half hour,
right?
You know
so
what?
Like, have you thought about that? Have you thought about doing shorter shows? Like, I know the hour is kind of like the hour-long special, but the way the world is going, like Andrew Schultz has had so much success just doing like quick YouTube clips, and it's like sometimes I think an hour might be sadly too much for like the regular audience out there now.
I definitely don't think that's a bad idea. Now, here's where I think you separate yourself from that. Is there's a point where it's like all this kind of quick clip, all this kind of world of quick clips and stuff, like none of that's memorable.
Right.
You couldn't tell me one of those videos you liked that you saw.
Right.
You could tell me all the jokes that you like from my special.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to create is a longer lasting thing. I'm not trying to do a quick fix. It's hard to do. It's hard to sometimes not get into that you want to go like, well, I want that instant feedback and stuff like that. And you got to sit here and go, you know what? I love stand-up. I love building my act. If you came and paid to see me live, you're not going to want to see 30 minutes. You'd want to see longer. Now, I could see specials being 45, 50 minutes. Like, I don't think I'm not saying you don't do that, but I keep all that stuff off any of those videos because it's like whatever I look at, like anything I come up with funny should go into the stand-up.
Yeah.
The special. I mean, the podcast is like we try to be funny. We're being loose and it's, but it's like that's not this crazy thing. But everything else needs to be protected. So it's like a surprise to you. And then it's a crafted joke. It's very hard. It's very hard to create a brand new hour. And that art is getting lost a little bit in the fact that people can kind of go on stage now and do these. It's like all crowd work. It's all, it's all kind of, I'm not trying to trash anybody, but it's like all kind of tricks is how I look at it. To be like, what's really hard to do? An hour. An hour of material that works. Takes an extremely long time. It's very hard to do. I don't need to pull the audience in on it. I'm not like, it's not like I could pull anybody on stage and make fun of them and everybody would, because everybody's bullies. They would all laugh at that.
Right.
But it's, it's like, it's hard to do an hour. And there's a lot of really funny comics in New York, especially young comics. And I think you got like Joe List, Norman, Sam Morril, like those guys. It's like these guys that are doing these hours, and actually that's the stand-up comedy. And I think there's going to be more people who are going to want to see that because it's like that's a whole, I don't know. It's not as quick.
Yeah, no, I totally.
You just like
that totally makes sense.
You got to throw out 50 videos to hopefully one sticks in someone's mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather I present you. I've been working on this for 2 years. Here it is. And then,
I've actually never heard that argument. That makes a lot of sense.
And what a ringing endorsement for Nate's podcast. None of the funny shit's going to be on there. I'm putting it all on stage.
Guys, I save it for stand-up. Don't you worry. This podcast is a real snore.
You were saying the other day, though, right? How you threw a perfect game once when you were a kid?
I threw a no-hitter.
No-hitter.
Still, man.
I threw
At what age?
Yeah.
How old?
12.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that's
the next year is when I thought I got a home run off a walk. and then I was just ball 3, which is a big. I have a joke about that. I got it's inside the park. I went off a walk for just dump to go.
And then you struck out next.
It was only.
And then I immediately struck out. And that's what they said. They go, who's that? They go, that's the kid that threw that no-hitter last year.
You said you still have the ball, right?
Oh, I would save that forever.
I still have the ball, and yeah, I still have it.
But you don't know if it's the ball.
I was gonna say if I lost it, I'd be like, well, this is another ball.
There's a little, yeah. It's the ball. It says Phillies 1990s when I would have done it, and
close enough.
I didn't, but I thought it said no. I thought the ball said no hitter, but I can't remember if it did or not. So that's the thing. I mean, look, there's a great chance someone one day goes, "You never threw a no hitter," and I'm like, that's right. So I always leave that up for option. But as of right now, I have a no hitter at 12 years old. Yeah,
I love it, man. Thanks for the time as always, dude.
Awesome, dude. Great seeing y'all.
Thank you so much, Nate. See you soon.